Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams Season 1, Episode 4. It's called Crazy Diamond. So full spoilers for the episode, as always. This is the one with Steve Buscemi in it, so we got a big notable actor in this one. Also, one of the actresses, her name's Sidze Babette Knudsen, which you probably wouldn't recognise that name, but you might recognise her face from Westworld, which is why I knew it. I didn't call it during the episode, but when I looked at her credits, I went, damn it, it was Westworld all this time. You assholes.
Yeah, been there.
Well, it's anyone's fault that I didn't recognise someone's name, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that this is the weakest episode of the show so far.
Yeah, I was just debating if I like this one or the first one more. Like, I think the first one was stronger, but it had the problems were a bit different. I liked it more, even though it had some major problems. This one I just kind of found a bit boring.
It was boring. I think I don't really think it knew what it wanted to do, and even like I happened to just see that the original story was originally on it was set between planets. Like it was in space and it was about wanting to explore space, whereas here it's just he wants to explore the sea. Apparently the story is very different from what the original was.
Yeah, okay.
And so the premise of this one is we're in a world where climate change and everything else is hype. Things are going bad. The shoreline is deteriorating, as in it's actually breaking away and crumbling and falling into the ocean.
Quite rapidly.
Quite rapidly, yeah. They're saying it's going to be like a year before.
A year until their home is in the water.
Yeah, and that's going on. There's a big sort of whole theme of corporations controlling what you can buy and do, because it's illegal to grow your own food. The food that you buy is designed to expire after a day, and it just turns black and rotten.
Yeah, it was the whole idea of waste not, want not sort of thing. You get what you need.
And then we have these artificial people called Jacks and Jills, which are kind of they've got these human bodies that are injected with what would they call it? Basically the soul, the actual brain of the person that gets injected into them. And we have this. So right away we've got all these different things going on. And honestly, I was kind of halfway through this episode, I'm like, am I missing what this is really supposed to be about? Because I feel like it's doing a lot of different things, and none of them are really clicking together.
Yeah, it feels like it's supposed to be about, making the most out of life, living every moment, doing what you want to do. But it never really gets to it. I mean, there's enough hints there to go, okay, I think that's the point of it, but it never quite materializes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the main thing that they're trying to do, because Buscemi's character Ed, he dreams of going out sailing. He wants to go outside the system and just sail to his heart's content. Discover uncharted places. And
I think also that's a point of just survival in this world, because if the all the land's fallen into the sea, it's okay. It's kind of adapt or die. Because if he's at the sea, if he's on the boat, he's safe. He doesn't need to rely on that.
I guess. I don't think they ever really
got
that across. I see why you're saying that, but I don't think they ever actually really...
To me, it's like they don't. There's things there that feels like, okay, so he wants to be self-sufficient. He's not reliant on the land in the same way he doesn't want to be reliant on these corporations.
He just wants to be free, basically, is kind of the idea. But it gets really murky, because basically we have this femme fatale who turns out to be a Jill. And we'll refer to her as Jill. She sort of entices him away from his wife and is like, hey, I want you to help me steal, because he works at the place that makes these Jacks and Jills. He works at this place, and they want to steal the bio-embryos of these people and sell them on the black market. But then I got really confused, because so I think one of the worst scenes in the entire episode is where she goes to sell this to these criminals, and they kind of just shoot her henchmen and then chase her a bit, and it's a really good. The scene just doesn't work. It felt like it turned up really quickly, and I didn't really get it all that well.
I agree.
And then later on, when she's dying, she's deteriorating. She convinces again him to help, Ed to help her, because he's basically had a bit of a scare because he helped her steal them, and then changed his mind and put the alarm on. And then he decides to go back on it, and he goes back to his wife and he tries to be normal. But then she shows up at the house, Which it did a weird thing at the start of the episode where it showed us this scene and then said 1 week earlier. And
yeah, and it was like, because it wasn't like anything interesting was going on when she was in the house at the start. She was like talking about insurance and stuff. Like life insurance was all it was, and then it goes a week earlier, and I'm like, okay, so we knew her already. Like this, because by the time it cuts back, we hadn't got to this actual bit yet, because it kind of jumps back and forth a few times.
Yeah, then when we actually get to the scene, nothing that interesting actually happens. And I feel like there's no reason to have that scene at the start.
It does nothing.
And then jump a week earlier. There's absolutely no reason for it. The rest of it plays pretty straightforward, and it would have played just as well without it. Basically, what you did is you extended your runtime by a minute by having it twice.
Pretty much.
That's basically what happened. But then she convinces him again to help, and then he gets excited about helping again. He gets all, adventure, let's do things, and he goes with her. And they go back to the same criminals who betrayed her to buy embryos back to give her one.
Yeah, I didn't get this either. Why didn't you just keep one?
Yeah, like I know they double crossed her, but why would she keep one away from the deal? Like keep one separately, then go to the deal.
If she wanted one, keep one for herself, and then go. Yeah, it just didn't make any sense to me.
That make a whole lot of sense. And then his boss like shows up and betrays them, and he's like this bad person as well.
Yeah.
And
this episode was kind of a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then she gets pissed at him for not like taking the final steps to actually like help her, and goes and gets his wife, presumably tells his wife about what's happened, says they've went away. He goes out in his boat that we've seen he's got, and he's excited about sailing, and then he just kind of has a vision of both of them on the boat with him.
Yeah.
And he goes in the water, and we end with him on the shore. His house has already fallen down the cliff. He's on the shore, like clutching one of his records, one of his vinyls, and
I mean, are you sure it was a vision? Could they have been on the boat?
It felt like a vision. It didn't feel like, oh, we've been here all the time secretly. He turns around and they're just both standing there in their yellow coats.
Right. I thought maybe they've come up from below deck.
Maybe it feels weird that he wouldn't have noticed them.
I don't know, because he was in a rush. He never went down. He just went off. If they were waiting below deck till the boat was moving and then come up.
I think it was the tone of it more than anything else that was telling me.
I agree, because I was a little bit confused as to whether, because why else does this ending happen? I was like, okay, but if they're a vision, why is he going in the water? Why does all this go on?
Because to me it was a vision, because I think it was supposed to represent like the normal life, which is his wife, and then the exciting, adventurous life that he was trying to have with her. But he kept going back and forth between them. He couldn't decide which one.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is why he ends up back where he started, back in the shore where his house is. Because
except now he's lost everything.
He didn't commit, and I mean, I'm kind of aiming for that, and it's kind of there, but I'm kind of,
we're kind of having to stretch for these things, aren't we?
Yeah, it's a mess. I don't actually know what the point of this episode was. There's too many ideas, and then there's a woman who's a pig.
Yeah.
Who speaks?
She's 40% normal.
She gives advice to his wife, Sally.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole thing where they tried to have a kid years ago and they couldn't, and now Jill's at least claims she's trying to have a kid, although it seems like a lie just to bond with her, but again, is that a theme that's supposed to be a big factor here? I'm not sure. There's too many things going on.
There really is, isn't there?
And none of them really connect together for me. I'm not really sure what the whole point of the episode was. It was kind of that thing at the end of the episode when he's lying back on the shore and he's clutching his vinyl, and the music's played. It's like I feel like this is meant to be this climactic point where you're meant to realise what the episode's been about, and I'm just sitting here going, I have no idea what the point was.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't get it. This one didn't connect.
I think it's easily the weakest of the 4 episodes so far. I think even at its worst with episode 1, there was still entertainment to be had. I still understood the plot. I still understood what the point was.
No, you're right. And I know a lot of people have not been that keen on episode 2. They thought it got a bit wishy-washy. Well, they must hate this one.
Oh, yeah. This one was all like tone poem and like weird ideas. I almost feel like it was one of these things where they kept saying, oh, this would be a good thing to have in there. Oh, and this would be a good thing to have in there.
And you know what, that's the thing. We're the sort of people who likes, those weird ideas and tone things. But you've got to have something to back it up. You've got to have something there to anchor it.
Yeah.
And this just doesn't have that. It doesn't have a point. It's just ideas for the sake of ideas, or that's how it feels.
Yeah, the motivations were all over the place because at first Jill felt like she wanted like adventure as well, and then it was about saving her life, and then I don't know.
And then like sort of almost like a quasi revenge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like this one.
I didn't like this one either.
The more I think about it, the more of a mess it is.
I really, there's not even very many moments in it that I enjoyed on their own. Like even the explanation, like when they introduced the whole idea of Jack and Jill's, and we've got this tour guide taking them through the lab, and he's explaining it. I still like it wasn't until they actually injected these like empty people with them that I went, oh, okay, right, okay, so it's basically replicants. We'll talk. I mean, I know it's a Philip K. Dick thing, but it is actually kind of replicants, and she's dying and she wants healed. That's also very Blade Runner. Like we're really hitting on some of these ideas,
and that's fine. You know, authors reuse themes.
Oh yeah, it's fine. But I wonder how much of this is actually in the original story of this, though.
It's a good point. I have no idea.
Was there even these android fake people in this story?
I feel like I want to read like some of these. I'm going, okay, I want to read just to see if it's as like if it's good. Or some of them I'm like, I don't really need to read that because I really enjoyed this episode, so I got the story. This one I kind of want to read just to see what it was meant to be.
And also they try and plant something, and there's like metal under the ground all around the shore, presumably to try and help keep it there for longer. But then they eventually do plant it, but the guy catches them, and I'm like, okay.
It didn't actually amount to anything. He goes, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing this. It's illegal."
Yes, and that's it. It's never mentioned again.
Never mentioned again.
Ties into anything. I don't know that this one just it did not work in any way, and as a result, it was kind of boring to watch because. I mean, at first you're kind of, okay, right, it's starting off weird, but it's going to like give me some footing, it's going to give me some ground to stand on after a couple of minutes. And it never really did. It just kind of kept going. And
no, that's it. Even the land in this episode is stable for a while. It's temporary, but it's stable to live on. Here, it hasn't even got that temporary stability for the episode. It's just nope, you're out at sea, you're awash.
Very good.
I thought it was too.
Going with the metaphors and stuff. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I have almost nothing to add. There was nothing There's nothing that stuck out to me as like, oh, I want to talk about that. That was a cool scene or a cool idea or a cool visual. Like the visuals were really murky. Actually, I thought it was a very.
I liked the designs of the houses and the cars.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I liked that. But it doesn't really account for much, does it?
It went for this really sort of like middle-aged melancholy.
It was very which then I think did work nicely with the really the white clinical houses and cars. It felt very structured, organized. Like no, this is just routine. Everything's the same. And
then the femme fatale kind of thing they put into it kind of felt like a place to me in that tone.
Yeah.
They kind of clashed. It never felt like it sat together very well. So I don't know, but I guess that's it. I guess that's all we've got for episode 4. Crazy Diamond.
I feel like this was a bit of a boring conversation but it was a boring episode.
That's sometimes how it works. And it's not even like it's because sometimes when something is bad, it can be an entertaining conversation because it's so wacky and stupid. This just felt like a mess, so it's hard to even.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start to pick it apart because it's just all over the place.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got all the different elements that are in there, but none of them actually add together.
Yeah. And
we've talked about what all of them are. I can't really talk about. I mean, on their own, and maybe what you could do with them, I can kind of like, okay, so the control of the government and not letting people have freedom. Okay, so that's kind of there. Are these Jack and Jill's, are they also considered people? Do they have feelings? That's kind of there, but not really done much with.
Yeah, there's a lot of what if the episode was this? What if the episode was that?
What if they actually had a script?
It does kind of feel like that, doesn't it?
There you go, that's episode 4. Now, one thing to note is we will not have a review for next week's episode next week. It'll be the week after. The schedule's getting a bit heavy over the next couple of weeks. Thank Netflix, mainly, if nothing else. But because of that, the schedule for these is going to be a little bit more spotty. But we've got 2 left before we've done this half of the season because they're taking a break. The next chunk isn't up until later. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode, and then we'll tell you then when the 6th one's coming. But so apologies for that. It's a shame to have to spread them out like that. But it's either that or we don't do them. So yeah. That said, after this stinker, I'm kind of like, okay, I can take a week off. It's fine.
Yeah. But we got Bryan Cranston in the next one, so not that really helped this one having a big name.
No, I like Steve Buscemi, but
yeah, exactly. It didn't really help, did it? He was fine. Like, don't get me wrong. We didn't really talk about him, but he was fine.
It's because he's not really given anything cool to do. He's kind of just
does some talking.
He has a lot of dialogue that never really says anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's poor writing, it's poor direction, I think, where there's no beats with them that really actually amount to much, where I can remember that moment and go, oh, that's the moment where he had that defining change or characteristic.
I feel bad for him as an actor, because I feel like in this show, a lot of the other actors have had a lot of, there's a moment for them. That sells them as an actor. And he never got that. I mean, he doesn't really need it, but it would have been nice.
Towards the end of the episode, I wasn't sure if we were supposed to be mad at him as the audience, because he was going to abandon his wife and go with Jill. Are we supposed to be mad at him for that at this point? I'm not really sure. I
don't know if we're supposed to be mad at him or if we're supposed to be going, yeah, he needs his freedom. Like, if this, if this is what he's meant to do.
Yeah, are we supposed to be mad at her because she didn't want to go with him on this boat trip? Are we supposed to be, I don't know who to sympathise with. It's weird. It's just muddy storytelling. Yeah. Basically. But that's us. So let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv. You can do that over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you very much for watching. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?